Wonder Woman 1984 is once again directed by Patty Jenkins and sees Gal Gadot reprising her role as Diana Prince / Wonder Woman. Now, my favourite film in the DCEU is the first Wonder Woman. I love that movie, it is so much fun, and it's the only film in the DCEU that I genuinely love. I like Aquaman, I like Shazam, but all the others I either hate or I'm very lukewarm on. So going into Wonder Woman 1984, I was very excited because Patty Jenkins was returning to direct. And I've got to say, I enjoyed it, but I can't lie, I am disappointed with it. Pros first. The performances are fantastic. Gal Gadot is really good. Chris Pine is great. Kristen Wiig. It feels like this role was written for her. But the standout is Pedro Pascal as Maxwell Lord. He is so charismatic and his presence is so entertaining. Now, in terms of Patty Jenkins' direction, it's fantastic. She really knows how to craft an action scene and make an action scene exciting. Now, there are a lot of risks taken here, and the biggest of which being that most sequels go bigger. They're bolder than the first one. Wonder Woman 1984 is actually a smaller scale movie. There's not as much happening in terms of action. I'd say Wonder Woman isn't really in this film a lot. She's in it for about half an hour. This film is more about Diana Prince. I'll get into about Diana Prince, but we see a lot of Diana Prince and less of Wonder Woman. And I'm really intrigued to see how fans react to this film because of that. I really like that they took that approach. I really like they took that approach because it helps separate Wonder Woman 1984 from other sequels in its genre. Now, one element Wonder Woman 1984 improves upon from the original is the villains. One of my big issues, I don't have many, but one of my big issues with the first one was that the villains were very weak. They didn't really have much motivation. Here, the villains are improved significantly. They get a lot of screen time. We are shown their motivation, and I really liked that the villains, they clearly took a lesson from the first one, and they enhanced the villains, and they had much more of a reason to be in this film. Now, Hans Zimmer is the composer here, and I'm not going to lie, he is one of the best composers working today, but I'm not going to lie, I was a little nervous about him composing, because one of my favourite things about the first movie is Rupert Gregson-Williams' score. It's so epic, it's awesome, I love his score in that movie. So, him not coming back, I was nervous, but, I mean, surprise, surprise, Hans Zimmer did a great job. The score is subtle when it needs to be, but it's also big and epic during the action sequences. So, there's a lot I really enjoyed in this movie, but overall, it's a mixed bag. So I'll get into my issues now. There is a section in the film between the opening scene and when we first see Chris Pine in this movie. I found that part of the movie to be really cringeworthy. I did not enjoy that part of the movie at all. I was really worried that the rest of the movie was going to be like that. Luckily, the rest of the movie isn't as cringeworthy as that part, but I really struggled to get invested. Wonder Woman 1984 is a very strangely paced movie. Now, for the first half, I wouldn't necessarily say it was slow, but I didn't find there to be much of a pace. Just scenes kind of came and went. They didn't really feel like they had much momentum going for them. However, I just found the second half to be slow. It just felt like this movie was never going to end. And this film is 2.5 hours long, and it feels closer to 3 hours, to be honest. You can really feel that it's packed. This movie has a lot in it, and it is very slow in the second half. As I said, it just constantly felt like it was never going to end. And probably my biggest issue with Wonder Woman 1984 is that in the first movie, Diana had a really great arc. Here, she doesn't even have much of an arc. This really is more focused on the villains, which you need to have focus on, but there really isn't much focus on Diana as a person. She doesn't really grow in this film, so I didn't really feel anything emotionally watching Wonder Woman 1984, but I felt something emotionally watching the first one. So, it's not one of the worst DCU movies, but it's not one of the best either. It was okay. I enjoyed it, but I'd watch the first Wonder Woman any day of the week. I don't think I could stomach watching Wonder Woman 1984 again. But still, if you liked the first movie and you're a fan of the DCEU, I'd recommend giving this one a shot. I'm going to give Wonder Woman 1984 a B-. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. My next video will probably be the best movies of 2020. Yes, I've seen enough movies this year. Some really great movies, actually, that I can do that list. So that'll be coming towards the end of the year. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. You guys were awesome. Blu-ray Belly, logging off.